first thing you have to do is believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has that power, has that qudra, that it can do it and do whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pleases. So it was He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself, Subhanallah asra bi abdihi, pure and glorified is He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who took His servant for all this journey. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all that power. Once we believe that, then all of the journey becomes very easy for us to understand. And can you imagine for a moment if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did all of that and yet it was not put in ayat of Quran? But our beloved Prophet would tell us that that's what happened to me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took me and I did all that. But it's not in Quran. It did happen. Our beloved Prophet would say it. And if it's not in Al-Quran, it would have been very difficult for people to believe. I say this because there are so many other things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does even today that may not be in Quran. So we shouldn't say, unless it's in Quran, I don't believe it. We should not say, well, I don't read it in Quran. How can I believe that this person can help me? Or so and so can do this for me? If that person in Prophet Solomon's cabinet was able to bring the throne of Bilqis from miles away in a blink of an eye, do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had the power then and doesn't have it today? He does. All we have to do is believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with all His powers, all His might and all His attributes, so that we are not misguided. That was point one. So believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and all His powers, believe that He is still running His universe and that things like this are possible. Start with that point, then try to understand. As humans evolve, science evolves a little bit more, we will probably understand better, but never say that we understand everything. I always make this point also about Al-Quran, that many people, many scholars would, in a misguided way, tell us that unless you fully understand Quran in Arabic, you should not, it doesn't give you any benefit. You should basically learn Arabic and learn the meanings and all that. Well, you can go to all kinds of Arabic schools and get PhDs and masters and whatever you want. Unless Quran opens up to you, your Arabic language itself will not help you. You have to have that faith in Al-Quran. And then you can have 10 lifetimes, 100 times, you can live for 10 times. Still you will learn more and more from Al-Quran. The knowledge in there is so much that it's beyond anybody's comprehension today. Lot of knowledge in Allah's word. So word itself has its barakah. If you recite it in Arabic and try to feel it inside, of course understanding is much better. But even if you do not, there is a barakah, there is a blessing that comes by just reading the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I myself can tell you the story about me. I write poetry in Urdu, and I could write a verse and I could probably recite it in front of a party of, say, 100 people, and different people will understand at different levels. They will think, every one of them will think, if they know the Urdu language, that they know what I said. But I can tell you, they may not even understand 10% of what I'm trying to say to them. So I, as a human being, can tell the difference in different comprehension of different people. People think that they understand. Suppose I say, Harsina, Nasheman nahi Jibreel Amika. You can translate it in English and this and that language, but unless you know what I'm trying to say, what Iqbal was trying to say in that word, you will not really be able to get to the bottom of it. What he said was, Harsina Nasheman nahi Jibreel Amika, which means every bosom, every chest, every heart is not capable of receiving messages from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Gabriel, through Jibreel al-Islam. But if you don't believe in Gabriel, if you don't believe in divine power, and if you don't believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you may think you understand it, but you really do not have full comprehension of the message that is in it. So, we should realize that regardless of how much we know, we should still seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help in understanding more and more. Submit to Him and let Him open your chest and your heart for you. So this way it's much easier to understand that yes, that journey did take place, and all of those things that came to us from the tafsir are probably based on the riwayat that were given to those people who have a better understanding than us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the knowledge and wisdom to know that we don't know enough. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us this ability to work and try to learn more and get Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message in its spirit and try to live by it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to pass on these messages to our future generations here, and let our neighbors and people that interact with us in this society know what about Islam is and how much Islamic